The night sky was filled with fire. The battlefield was burning. Smoke and laser beams cut across the horizon. Human soldiers were running, shouting, fighting for survival. Among them was a young soldier named Daniel. His armor cracked, his rifle almost empty, but his spirit was not broken. Daniel had fought many battles before, but this one was different. The enemy was stronger, faster, and merciless. The aliens came in waves, their ships darkened the sky. Their soldiers had glowing armor and weapons no human had seen before. Yet Daniel did not run, he stood his ground, firing until his weapon hissed and clicked with no energy left. Explosions shook the earth, dust filled the air. Daniel dove behind broken metal, his chest rising and falling, his ears ringing. He thought this might be his last night, but then something strange caught his eye. In the middle of the battlefield, lying helpless among the ruins, was a figure in silver-white armor unlike the others. Her body shimmered with a faint light, her crown broken, her breathing weak. Daniel squinted through the smoke. At first he thought it was another alien soldier, but then he realized no. This one was different, smaller, fragile. Her helmet cracked, her face visible, her skin pale with a faint glow. Her eyes closed as if she was fading. She's one of them, Daniel whispered to himself, gripping his empty rifle. But she's not like the rest. As he crawled closer, bullets and plasma fire whizzed over his head. He saw her chest rise weakly, her hand twitching, her blood glowing blue as it spilled onto the ground, and something inside Daniel told him. She was not just another alien, she was someone important, someone powerful, maybe even royalty. He looked at her face again, peaceful, almost human, and he felt a strange pull, his heart beating faster. Why am I doing this? He thought. She's the enemy. But his legs moved anyway. He dragged himself to her side, his own wounds bleeding, his vision blurring. The princess opened her eyes for a second, glowing silver, and whispered something in a language Daniel did not understand. But he felt it in his bones. She was begging, she was dying, and somehow she knew he could help. Daniel checked his medkit, but it was empty. No plasma patches, no nanobots left, only blood bags for human transfusion. He stared at them, then at her glowing blue veins. It made no sense, her biology was alien, her blood not human, but still. Something inside whispered, "Try." His hands trembled as he connected the tube, pushing his own blood into her body. He expected nothing, maybe even her death, but then something impossible happened. The glow in her veins flickered, the bleeding slowed, her breath grew stronger, her eyes opened wide, staring directly at him. Daniel gasped, his own body growing weaker as he felt his life draining into hers, but he could not stop. It was as if fate itself was holding him there. The alien princess looked at him with glowing silver eyes, her lips moving slowly, and this time, the words were clear, though her voice was weak. "Daniel," she whispered. Daniel froze, his blood ran cold. How could she know his name? He had never met her before. He had never told her, yet she spoke it like she had always known. Around them, the battle still raged. Human soldiers fought for their lives. Alien warriors screamed in fury, but in that moment, Daniel felt as if the world had gone silent. It was just him and her, bound by something he did not understand. The connection burned in his veins. His heart pounded harder, his body weak. But the princess grew stronger. She sat up slowly, still holding on to the tube that tied them together. Her glowing hand brushed against his arm, and she whispered again, "You saved me. With your blood." Daniel tried to speak, but no words came, his throat dry, his vision darkening. Before he passed out, he saw her eyes glowing brighter, her face close to his, her hand pressed firmly over his heart, as if she would not let it stop. The battlefield roared on, but for Daniel, the night ended in silence. Unconscious in the arms of the alien princess he had just saved, unaware that this single act had changed his fate forever. Daniel woke up to the sound of distant thunder. At first he thought it was only the storm, but then he remembered it was not thunder, it was war. His eyes opened slowly, his body weak, his chest aching, his mind foggy. He tried to move, but something held him in place. A soft but firm grip on his arm. He turned his head, and his heart nearly stopped. She was there, the alien princess, no longer dying, no longer fragile, but awake, her silver eyes glowing in the dim light, watching him closely. For a moment he thought it was a dream, but her hand was real. Her gaze was real, her breathing steady and strong. The same alien who had been on the edge of death was now sitting beside him, and she refused to let go of his arm. Daniel swallowed hard, his voice rough. You're alive." The princess tilted her head slightly, her lips curved into a faint smile. "Because of you," she whispered, her voice soft, melodic, almost human, but with an echo. Your blood saved me. Daniel's mind raced. He still could not understand it. His blood was human. Hers was alien. Their bodies should have rejected each other. Yet here she was, alive, glowing even stronger than before. He pulled at his arm gently, but her grip tightened. You must rest, she said firmly, surprising him with her strength. Our lives are joined now. I cannot let you go, Daniel frowned. Joined? What do you mean? The princess's eyes softened. Yet her words carried weight. When you gave me your blood, you created the bond in my people's ways. This is sacred, unbreakable. You are mine now, and I am yours. Daniel felt his stomach twist. No, I only wanted to save you, that's all. But even as he said it, he noticed something strange. His body felt different, his pulse echoing in his ears, and when the princess shifted her hand, he felt a rush of warmth flow through his veins, almost as if their hearts beat together. Outside, explosions shook the ground. Human soldiers shouted in the distance. Alien warriors roared as the battle continued. But Daniel and the princess were trapped in a small shelter of broken steel and stone. Alone yet not alone, he closed his eyes for a moment, trying to gather strength, but a sharp pain struck his chest. He gasped, his hand clutching his side, and to his shock, the princess also flinched, pressing her hand against her ribs as if she felt the same pain. Her eyes widened. It has begun, she whispered. The bond is real, your wounds are mine, my breath is your breath. Your heartbeat echoes in me. Daniel's mouth went dry. That's impossible. She shook her head gently, her long silver hair catching the dim light. Not impossible, ancient, older than your people know. In my world they told stories. Stories of humans and my kind sharing blood, binding their souls. Many thought it was only legend, but you have proven it true. Daniel tried to sit up, but she pressed him back down with surprising strength. Rest, human soldier. You gave much of yourself to me. Your body is weak. If you fall now, I will fall with you. Her words sank into him like fire. His chest heavy, his thoughts tangled. He wanted to deny it, to push her away. But her glowing eyes locked onto his, and he could not move. Minutes passed like hours. The sounds of war outside slowly faded as the battlefield moved farther away. Silence filled the small space, and Daniel found himself staring at her face, no longer seeing only an enemy, but someone mysterious, someone bound to him in a way he could not explain. Finally, he asked the question that burned inside him. Why do you know my name? I never told you. The princess lowered her gaze for a moment, then met his eyes again. Because when your blood touched mine, I saw pieces of you, your name, your pain, your courage. I felt who you are and you felt me, even if you do not remember. Daniel shivered. Her words cut deep. He wanted to argue, but deep inside he remembered the visions, the strange flashes when he gave her his blood. Images of stars, ruins, faces he had never seen, and yet somehow they felt familiar. Before he could speak again, a noise outside snapped them both alert. Heavy footsteps, alien voices calling out, searching. The princess's eyes narrowed, her grip on his arm tightening. They are here for me, she whispered. My father's guards, they will take me away. They will kill you if they find you. Daniel's instincts kicked in. He reached for his broken rifle. Even though it was useless, well, then we run, he said. But the princess shook her head. No, we cannot be separated. If I go without you, the bond will tear us apart. Your life will end and mine with it. I will not allow it. The voices outside grew louder, closer, the metal walls shaking with each step. Daniel's heart raced, his strength barely enough to stand. Yet he knew this was only the beginning. The princess stood gracefully, still holding his arm, pulling him to his feet, her silver eyes blazing with determination. Come, Daniel, she whispered. Our fates are one now. I will never let you go. And in that moment, as the shadows of alien soldiers closed in, Daniel realized something terrifying. He was no longer fighting only for humanity. He was bound to her, tied by blood, by fate, and by a secret that could change the future of both their worlds. The night was heavy with silence after the chaos. Daniel and the princess had escaped the patrols, their bodies weak but alive. They found shelter inside the ruins of an old transport ship, its broken walls shielding them from the cold wind. Daniel leaned against a steel beam, his chest burning with pain, every breath sharp. The princess sat across from him, her silver eyes glowing faintly. She looked calm, yet her hand never left her chest, as if she felt the same ache he did. Finally, Daniel broke the silence, his voice rough. Tell me what's happening to me. The princess lowered her gaze, her hands folding together. It is the bond, she said softly. When you gave me your blood, you tied your life to mine. We are not two anymore. We are one, Daniel shook his head. That makes no sense. Humans and aliens are not the same. Our blood should have killed you, she looked at him with quiet strength. Yet it did not. Your blood healed me. It woke something old, something hidden. The bond is real, and it cannot be undone. Daniel clenched his fists, frustration in his eyes. I didn't ask for this. I just wanted to save you. Her voice grew sharper. And now your mercy has changed everything. Do you not see you gave me more than blood? You gave me part of yourself. Daniel felt his stomach twist, his mind refusing to believe. But deep inside he knew she was right. His body felt strange. His heartbeat echoed louder than before, and sometimes when he closed his eyes, he saw flashes, visions of places he had never been. Silver cities floating in the stars. A vast throne room filled with light. Her face standing in the center, always watching. He rubbed his temples, trying to push the images away. These visions. They're not mine, are they? The princess's expression softened. No, they are mine when our blood joined. Our memories began to flow between us. You see me because I see you. I know your name, your pain, your courage because it now lives in me. Daniel's chest tightened, fear crawling through him. So you can see everything in me. She nodded slowly. Not everything, but enough. I know the fire in your heart. I know the loss you carry. I know you have always fought even when you wanted to fall. Her words cut deeper than any blade. Daniel turned away, his jaw tight. He hated that she could see him so clearly. Hated that she spoke of wounds he kept hidden. But he also felt something else, something dangerous. A strange warmth in her voice that almost felt like comfort. The princess stood and walked closer, kneeling in front of him, her silver hair falling like silk over her shoulders. Daniel, she whispered, this bond is not a curse, it is a gift. My people believe those who share blood are chosen. It means the stars themselves have tied us together. Daniel met her eyes, anger flashing in his own. A gift. I feel weaker every moment. Every time you breathe, I feel it. When you hurt, I bleed. How is this a gift? Her gaze turned sharp, her voice low but firm. Because it means neither of us will die alone. Her words struck him silent, the fire of his anger cooling into confusion. He looked at her again, her glowing eyes steady, her voice carrying both sadness and hope. Moments later, the ground trembled with distant engines. Daniel's heart jumped. He pulled his rifle close, though it was nearly useless. The princess tilted her head, listening. It is not soldiers, she said. It is seekers. Machines sent by my father to find me. Daniel gritted his teeth. And when they find us, her eyes darkened. They will take me back to the palace, and they will kill you. The words hung heavy in the air. Daniel looked at her, sweat on his brow, his breath uneven. Then why not leave me? You can survive without me. The princess shook her head fiercely. No, I cannot. The bond will not allow it. If they take me away, your heart will stop, and I will follow. They cannot separate us now. Daniel's hands trembled. He felt the weight of her words like chains around his chest. Part of him wanted to deny it, to call it a lie. But deep inside, he already knew. He could feel it every time his heart skipped, every time her breath faltered. The princess placed her glowing hand gently on his. Do you not see, Daniel? Your people and mine were never meant to be enemies. Long ago there were stories, whispers of a time when humans and my kind shared more than war, when they shared life itself. Maybe we are the proof of those stories. Daniel stared at her, the glow of her skin reflecting in his tired eyes. Her words planted a seed of doubt in his heart. What if she was right? What if this was not a mistake, but destiny? The engines grew louder outside, metallic echoes filling the ruins. Daniel tightened his grip on the useless rifle. His breath sharp, the princess rose to her feet, her silver eyes blazing. They will come soon. Daniel, but remember this. Your blood did not only save me, it changed you, and it changed everything. Daniel's heart pounded as the shadows of the Seekers crawled across the walls, his mind torn between fear and wonder. He realized then that he was no longer just a soldier. He was something else now, something tied to her, tied to the fate of two worlds, and deep inside, even as fear gripped him, he could not deny one truth. The bond was real, and it was only the beginning. The night was no longer silent. The sound of metal crawlers echoed through the ruins. Searchlights cut across the broken walls, and the ground trembled as Seekers closed in. Daniel's heart raced, his hands tightening around his useless rifle. Beside him, the alien princess stood tall, her silver eyes glowing with fierce determination. They are my father's hunters, she whispered, her voice sharp. They will not stop until they find me. Daniel gritted his teeth, sweat dripping down his face, and if they do, I'm dead. She turned to him, her hand gripping his arm tightly. Not just you, Daniel. If they separate us, I die too. The bond will not allow us to live apart. The words hit him like cold steel. No escape, no choice. Their lives tied together whether he wanted it or not. The first seeker crawled over the rubble, its mechanical eyes glowing red, scanning, searching. Daniel pulled her down behind the broken hull of the ship. The red beam passed inches above their heads, his breath caught, his heart pounding so hard he was sure the machine could hear it. The princess placed a hand over his chest, and for a strange moment his heartbeat slowed. Her touch calmed the storm inside him, yet when she pulled away he felt it again. The burning connection between them. Daniel, she whispered, we must move if they capture us. Your people will also hunt you. You will be branded a traitor. Both our worlds will want us dead. Daniel's jaw tightened. So we're hunted by both sides now. Yes, she said softly. But together we can survive. They crawled through the ruins, each step heavy. The seekers' lights cutting through the dark. Metallic voices speaking in an alien tongue. Daniel felt weaker with each movement. But every time he stumbled, the princess steadied him, their bond giving him just enough strength to continue. At the edge of the ruins, they stopped. Beyond the broken steel walls stretched an open valley, the moonlight shining on cracked earth and twisted trees. It offered no cover, yet it was the only path forward. They will see us if we cross, Daniel whispered. The princess's eyes glowed brighter. Then we run faster than they can follow. Daniel almost laughed. Weak as he was, the idea of outrunning machines seemed insane. But when she placed her glowing hand in his, warmth surged through his veins, his legs trembling with new strength. For a moment he believed they ran. Their feet pounding against the broken earth behind them, the seekers screeched, their metal legs clicking, red lights flashing. Daniel's breath tore at his chest, his body burning. Yet the princess pulled him forward. Her speed graceful, her grip unbreakable. Bolts of plasma fire ripped through the ground. Dirt exploding around them, Daniel stumbled, nearly falling. But the princess yanked him back to his feet, their bond burning brighter with each step. They reached the edge of the valley and slipped into a forest of black trees, the branches twisting above like claws, shadow swallowing them. The seekers' lights cut through the edges, but the machines did not follow too deep, their mechanical voices fading behind. Daniel collapsed against a tree, his chest heaving, his hands shaking. We can't keep running like this, he gasped. I don't even know where we're going. The princess knelt in front of him, her silver eyes steady. We are not running without purpose, she said. There are places even the hunters will not enter. Places where the bond may reveal its truth. Daniel frowned. You keep saying bond, destiny, truth. What does it mean? Why me? The princess lowered her gaze, her voice softer. Because no one else could have done what you did. My kind would have let me die. Your kind would have left me behind. But you gave me your blood. You risked your life for mine. That is why fate chose you. Daniel shook his head, anger flashing in his tired eyes. Fate, destiny, those are just words. I didn't ask for this. Her hand touched his arm gently, her voice quiet but unshaken. And yet here you are, alive when you should be dead. Bound to me when you should be free. Whether you asked for it or not, you carry the bond now, and it will change you. Daniel looked away, his fists tightening. He wanted to deny it, but deep inside he felt it. Every breath, every heartbeat, every flicker of strength came not only from himself but from her too. Before he could speak again, the ground shook, distant engines roaring, not just seekers now but human ships. Daniel's heart froze. His own people were here, searching. The princess's eyes darkened. Your army hunts you too, she whispered. They will not forgive what you did. Saving me makes you their enemy. Daniel's chest ached, betrayal twisting inside him. He had bled for humanity his whole life, fought every battle, followed every order, and now, because he saved her, they wanted him dead. The princess gripped his hand tightly, pulling him to his feet once more. We cannot stop Daniel, hunted by two worlds. We must choose our own path. Together they moved deeper into the forest, shadows wrapping around them, both of them carrying the weight of two empires, two destinies, tied by a bond that neither side would ever accept. Daniel glanced at the princess, her silver eyes glowing against the dark, and for the first time he realized the truth. He was no longer just a soldier. He was something else now, something caught between man and myth, and as the forest swallowed them whole, the whispers of pursuit behind and ahead, Daniel knew one thing clearly. There was no going back. The forest was silent except for their footsteps. The night air heavy with mist, Daniel staggered forward, each step burning in his chest. His body weak, his vision blurry. The princess held his arm, guiding him deeper into the shadows, her silver eyes glowing like small moons. They stopped by a stream, its water black under the dim sky. Daniel collapsed to his knees, his breath ragged, his hands shaking. He pressed his palm against his chest, feeling the pain pulse with every beat of his heart. "You gave too much of yourself," the princess whispered. Kneeling beside him, her voice soft but firm. "Your blood keeps me alive, but it weakens you if you keep giving. You will die." Daniel let out a broken laugh, bitter and sharp. "Then maybe I should stop. Maybe I should let you go, end this bond before it kills me." Her eyes flashed with sudden fire. She grabbed his hand tightly, her grip stronger than he expected. "No, you cannot. If you let me go, the bond will tear us both apart. Your death will be my death." Daniel looked at her, anger and confusion twisting inside him. "So I'm trapped. I die if I give. I die if I stop. Is that it?" The princess lowered her gaze, sadness flickering in her silver eyes. "It is more than that. The bond is not meant to destroy. It is meant to unite, but it demands sacrifice." "Always sacrifice," Daniel shook his head, his voice harsh. "Sacrifice, that's easy for you to say. You're the one gaining strength while I bleed myself dry." She touched her chest, her voice trembling now. "Do you think it is easy for me to watch you weaken, to feel your pain in my own body? Every time you suffer, I suffer too. Every cut on you burns inside me." Daniel fell silent, his anger softening into something else, guilt. He wanted to hate her, to push her away, but when he looked into her glowing eyes, he saw truth. She was bound to his suffering as much as he was bound to hers. The stream rippled and Daniel's reflection wavered. But for a moment he saw not only himself, he saw flashes of her world, golden skies, crystal towers, alien children running through fields of light, then fire, war, blood. The visions stabbed into his mind like shards. He gasped and gripped his head. The princess leaned closer, her voice urgent. "The bond shows you what I know, what I feel. My world is dying, Daniel. Torn apart by war, I was meant to be a symbol of peace, but instead I became a prisoner of my father's throne. They want me as a weapon, not as a leader." Daniel's jaw tightened, his thoughts a storm. "And now, because I saved you, I'm dragged into your war." Her hand brushed his cheek gently, her voice soft. "Not dragged, chosen, whether you believe it or not. The stars chose you, and now you must choose. Will you give mercy again, even if it costs you?" Daniel pulled back slightly, his chest heavy. "Mercy? I've given enough." But even as he said the words, his eyes drifted to her, her face pale despite the glow, her body trembling slightly though she tried to hide it, and deep inside he felt it, the bond whispering. Her life depended on him still before he could answer. The night was broken by a low hum, the ground trembling. Above the forest lights appeared, not the red eyes of seekers but something older, stranger. The princess's eyes widened in shock. "The ruins," she whispered. "They are waking." Daniel looked up, confusion filling his mind. "Ruins," she nodded quickly, her voice urgent. "Ancient places left by those before us. Places where the truth of the bond may be revealed. If we reach them, we may find a way to survive without your blood. A way to break the chain of death." Daniel's heart skipped. Hope flickered for the first time, but so did fear. "And if we don't," her voice grew quiet, her eyes holding his, "then you must keep giving. And one day you will fall, and I will fall with you." The weight of her words pressed down on him, the choice sharp and cruel. Sacrifice himself slowly for her life, or risk everything on some ancient mystery that might not even exist. The forest shook again, the strange lights above glowing brighter, strange symbols burning into the sky. Daniel forced himself to his feet, his body weak, his breath shallow, but his will unbroken. He met her gaze, his voice steady though heavy with fear. "Then we go, we find those ruins, we find the truth." "I'm not ready to die yet." The princess's lips curved into the faintest smile. Relief in her eyes, she held his hand tightly, warmth rushing through him again. "You have chosen mercy once more. Daniel, even when it costs you, that is why you are different. That is why I cannot let you go." Together they stepped deeper into the forest, the ground glowing faintly under their feet, the air thick with whispers of something ancient, something waiting, hunted by two worlds bound by blood. Their only hope now was in the secrets of the ruins, and as Daniel stumbled forward, guided by her steady grip, He knew this was no longer about saving just her. It was about saving them both, maybe even saving their worlds. But at what cost he still did not know. The ruins rose from the forest like the bones of giants, black stone towers half buried in the earth, their surfaces covered in glowing symbols that pulsed like living veins. Daniel stood at the edge of the clearing, his breath caught in his throat, the air heavy with a strange hum that rattled in his chest. Beside him, the princess stared in awe, her silver eyes wide. "These ruins are older than my people. Older than yours," she whispered. "They belong to the ancients. The ones who walked among the stars before us." Daniel's legs trembled as he stepped forward. Each symbol glowing brighter under his presence, the forest behind them seemed to fall silent, as if even nature held its breath. He turned to her, his voice rough. "You said these ruins might hold the truth, then tell me, what am I supposed to find here?" She shook her head gently, her silver hair swaying. "The bond will show us, but only if you are ready to see." Daniel clenched his fists, his chest burning. "Ready? I didn't ask for this bond. I didn't ask for visions. I didn't ask to be hunted by my own people." Her eyes softened, sadness flickering. "And yet you gave, Daniel. You gave when no one else would. That is why the bond chose you." They moved deeper into the ruins, the air colder, the walls whispering with echoes of voices neither human nor alien. Daniel touched the stone, and in an instant, his mind was flooded with images, stars exploding, planets rising, humans and aliens standing side by side, not as enemies, but as one. He stumbled back, clutching his head, his voice breaking. "I saw them, your people, mine." Together, the princess placed her glowing hand on his arm, steadying him. "Yes, that is the truth hidden from us long ago. Humans and my kind were not separate, they were united. Blood was shared freely, and from it came peace, but over centuries, fear turned unity into war." Daniel's breath caught. "So this bond, it's not an accident, it's older than we know," she nodded, her voice steady. "It is ancient, it is sacred, and it has returned through us." The ruins rumbled, the ground trembling, the symbols glowing brighter. Daniel felt his chest burn, his veins alive with fire. He fell to his knees, gasping, and the princess cried out, falling beside him, their bodies shaking together in that moment. A figure of light formed before them, neither human nor alien, its voice a chorus of echoes. "The bond is truth," it spoke. "Blood shared is life shared, through it war ends, or worlds fall." Daniel's heart pounded. "Why me?" he shouted, his voice breaking. "Why not someone else?" The figure's voice thundered. "Because you gave without demand. You gave without fear. Mercy is the seed of unity, but mercy demands cost." Daniel felt tears sting his eyes, his voice shaking. "And if I can't pay that cost?" The light dimmed, its final words heavy. "Then both worlds will drown in their own blood." The vision faded. Leaving only silence, Daniel lay on the cold stone, his breath ragged, his body weak. The princess knelt beside him, her silver eyes shimmering with tears. "Now you know, Daniel, the bond is not only between us. It is the bridge for both our peoples. You are not just my savior. You are the key to peace or destruction." Daniel laughed bitterly, his voice hoarse. "A soldier, a key to peace? I'm no hero." She cupped his face in her glowing hands, her voice firm. "You are more than you believe, because you gave when others would have killed. That is what makes you different." Before Daniel could answer, the ground shook violently, the ruins splitting, light pouring out like rivers. Outside, engines roared, voices shouted. Both human and alien forces had tracked them here. The hunters had come. Daniel struggled to his feet, his rifle shaking in his hands. The princess grabbed his arm, her voice urgent. "They will not understand. They will kill us before hearing the truth." Daniel's eyes burned, his heart torn. "Then what do we do?" Her grip tightened, her voice fierce. "We fight, but not as enemies, as one." The ruins blazed, the bond between them burning hotter than ever. Daniel felt her heartbeat inside his chest, her strength flowing into him, his weakness into her. They were no longer two, they were one. As soldiers and machines poured into the clearing, weapons raised, Daniel and the princess stood together at the heart of the ruins, silver light surrounding them. For the first time, Daniel understood. The bond was not only about life and death, it was about choice, mercy, and the future of two worlds. And now, under the gaze of both armies, that truth would be tested. The ruins glowed like a living heart, silver light spreading across the broken stones. Soldiers from both sides filled the clearing, human rifles aimed, alien blades drawn, the air thick with fear and rage. Daniel stood in the center with the princess, their hands locked together, the bond blazing through their veins. "Daniel Reed," a human commander shouted through a speaker, his voice sharp and cold. "Step away from the alien. Surrender now. You are charged with treason." At the same moment, an alien warlord stepped forward, his armor burning with blue fire. "Princess Aria," he thundered, "return to us, abandon this human, or your people will see you as dead." The words cut through the night, both armies waiting, ready to kill. Daniel's chest heaved, his weapon heavy in his hands. He looked at the princess, her silver eyes steady. She whispered, "They do not understand. To them we are enemies, but to us, we are one." Daniel's voice shook with anger. "If I go with them, they'll kill me. If you go with yours, they'll destroy you." Her grip tightened, her glowing hand pressing over his heart. "Then we do not go with them. We choose our own path." The ruins rumbled beneath their feet, the light flaring brighter. Soldiers raised weapons, shouts filled the air. The first shot rang out. Daniel threw himself over the princess as plasma fire exploded around them. The bond surged, silver light forming a shield that shattered the blasts. Gasps rose from both armies, fear in their voices. Daniel stood tall, his body trembling but alive, the princess by his side. Together they glowed brighter than the ruins themselves. "Do you see?" Arya cried out, her voice echoing across the battlefield. "This bond is not death, it is life. Human blood flows in me. My light flows in him. We are proof that we are not enemies, we are the same." But the commanders on both sides shouted orders. "Fire!" the humans roared. "Strike them down!" the aliens bellowed. The armies unleashed a storm of fire and steel. Daniel's knees buckled, his strength fading. But the princess poured her life into him, her silver glow wrapping around his body. The blasts bent away. The blades broke against the light. Every wound he took, she carried. Every cut she suffered, he bled. Daniel gasped, "Arya, we can't hold forever." Her eyes burned with determination. "Then give me more." He looked at her in horror. "If I give more, I'll die." She cupped his face, her touch soft even as the world burned. "And if you don't, we both die now. Let me share the cost." Daniel closed his eyes, the choice ripping him apart, and then he gave. He opened himself fully to the bond, his blood burning through her veins, her light flooding into his. Together they screamed as the ruins erupted with power, a shockwave blasting across the armies, throwing soldiers to the ground, weapons ripped from their hands. When the light faded, silence filled the clearing. The armies lay stunned, none daring to rise. Daniel fell to his knees, his vision dark, his body broken. He felt his life slipping away. Arya caught him in her arms, her silver eyes wide with fear. "No, Daniel, stay with me." His voice was weak, his breath shallow. "I gave everything, I can't." Tears streamed down her glowing face, her voice breaking. "Then I will not let you go." She pressed her forehead against his, her light pouring into him, her veins burning as she forced her own life into his body. He tried to push her away, whispering, "No, you'll die." But she only shook her head, her voice fierce. "If you fall, I fall. I told you we are one. You cannot escape me." Daniel gasped as warmth flooded his chest, his heart stuttering, then beating stronger, her life keeping his alive. Their breaths merging, their pain shared, their bond unbreakable. Around them, soldiers from both sides watched in silence, fear and awe in their eyes. For the first time they saw not enemies, but unity, not war, but something greater. Daniel opened his eyes slowly, his voice rough but alive. "Arya, why?" Her lips curved into a trembling smile. "Because you gave me mercy when I had nothing. Because you saved me with your blood, I will never let you go." The ruins dimmed, the night quiet again. The armies lowered their weapons, none daring to attack, none daring to move. They had seen something no weapon could destroy, a bond stronger than hate. Daniel leaned against Arya, his body weak but his spirit unbroken. He looked at the silent soldiers, then at her, whispering, "What now?" Her silver eyes blazed with certainty. "Now we show them the truth, now we make them choose. War or peace, death or unity, we are the bridge, Daniel. Whether they want it or not." The weight of her words sank deep into his heart. He knew his old life as a soldier was gone. He was no longer just human, no longer just himself, he was bound forever. And as the moonlight bathed the ruins, as two armies held their breath, Daniel realized one final truth. He could never escape her, not in life, not in death. She was his fate and he was hers.